considering our performance, we performed with a percentage of 74% in the entire district. So that shows you how much support these people have for the president, and that's why they took time off their busy schedule to come and see him off as he goes back to State House.
Okay. As people of Kabola County and Liantonde in general, what are those key issues you're looking at achieving in the next 5 years of NRM and President Yoweri Museveni?
To me, it's more of improving on the service delivery, ensuring that at least we work on the education standards, improve on the close. We make our schools close to the getting. So let's get off. Are we off? Yeah. Okay. Again.
What are some of those things you're looking at achieving in these next 5 years?
Improving on the education standards, having schools closer to the communities, improving on the health standards, tarmacking the main road from Montusi to Rakai, which goes through the Antonde districts, which has also been a very major issue for the last several years. But according to our manifesto, we expect to be worked on in the next 5 years. Okay. So to me, it's more of education, health, water, clean water, and the main road.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, that has been Mr. Enos Kinywamachunda, the current Member of Parliament for Kabola County. And of course, anytime from now, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is going to be arriving here from his country home in Rachtra, and is going to be making his triumphant entry in Kampala city as he embarks on his state duties after a few days of leave after winning the country's presidential elections. Back to you in the studio.
Well, thank you very much there, Benediga, and we will be bringing you that full address as the national broadcaster all the way from Rakitoya to Liantonde. We know that he deserves the celebrations because he's the winner anyways. Now over to Kagadi. Robert Twikirize, the Kagadi district returning officer, declared Yosia Ndibwami Bahonga NRM winner for Kagadi District LC5 chairman seat. He garnered 46,343 votes, representing 59.4% against his closest rival, Stephen Byarohanga Mafashigabo, an independent. And of course, we will be bringing you details on that specific story in our subsequent bulletin. Now, moving on into performances with the NRM Rubaga division, the chairperson for the National Resistance Movement Border Association in Rubaga division, Kampala City, Sula Rubaga, has called on President-elect Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to resolve the issue of land grabbing in his first 100 days in office. Rubaga says majority of vulnerable Ugandans have been greatly affected by land grabbers. In Mengo, Kisenyi, that is Kisenyi 2 Parish, Central Kampala, the NRM chairperson, Sunday Kiwana Nkoyoyo, urged the president to consider in his next cabinet hard-working ministers who lost in the recent parliamentary elections.
balolezeko baberene boda zaabwe ato tuyite buli district ya tuyite ba LC tumubulire ebizibu biddawa wansi bana bakulemeza abawagulu tebatuuka yo babadde abamu balowooza sente egenda okukola naye sente zikola.
Muzeeyi bye tujja okumusaba mu kisanja kino kyazzeemu ekisinga okutuluma ttaka, ebintu by'ettaka. His Excellency ekyo vaayo bannayuganda ekyo ekisinga okubaluma, ettaka bali babyeko nnyo. Ku luno vaayo olwanirire omuntu w'owansi.
Alinga twale district council muliraba tungi amatwale malungi mu kiruddu naye temuli ddaga neefuba nnyo okulaba nga abasawo mubateeka oloondo minisita omusawo amanyi kintu kiyitibwa nti omuntu wa wansi yeetaaga saavisi. Kulembeza eggwanga twagala abakadde bape mu myaka 8 tudde myaka 6 naffe tufune tetujja ku myaka 5 esinyangu ebintu ebijja yamba abavubuka take away factory.
Now about the elections that transpired yesterday, the local government elections, that is the mayoral LC5 and then the district councillors. There was a low turnover or turnout in the local government elections in Kampala as compared to the just concluded presidential and parliamentary elections. Now voters attributed this to the day being a working day as opposed to the presidential and parliamentary elections day that was declared a public holiday.
Ugandans have turned up in smaller numbers for the local government council elections as opposed to the recent presidential and parliamentary elections. Some voters attribute the low turn-up to the direction of the recently declared presidential results that did not go their way.
People are very poor. They can't come to vote while they don't have food to feed their families at home. They have to first face the problem of home, then they come to vote. But they will come. They started coming.
Also to note here is that on such a usual working day, voters say they are recovering from COVID-19. Therefore, they prefer working fast, then vote within the deadline.
But interest here when they gano kuitamu abasinga balina interest ndala beyagano kuitamu kufuna okulembezo wagulu abasinga abana bavubuka abasinga bali munati balina mirimu bebabeera ku timu eri endala ya kivubuka bajagala nnyo bajiwagira nnyo abakadde batulanga babanafuya ababazze mabega.
Mariam Namakula, a presiding officer at Joko polling station in Kampala, says some voters loiter around but do not vote.
Many people at this polling station had voted Chaguranyi Robert Sentamu for president. So I think the results that came out didn't appease them. So the turn-up is a little bit low. And maybe the second thing is that it has been a working day, or it is a working day, and it was not given as a public holiday. So many people, of course, had to go to their work. That's why it has been a low turn-up.
The local government council elections include city women councillors forming 1/3 of councils, directly elected councillors, and district chairperson or Lord Mayor. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC.
Thank you very much, the Shaidat Nasiku. And that very story brings us to the end of our first segment. As we come back, we will be bringing you our guest corner, where we will be dialoguing with the State Minister for Local Government, none other than Namuyangu Jennifer. We want to exhaust the issue of yesterday's elections, how it transpired, the effects of the low turnout that has been quite the biggest challenge in these elections. We take a short break. We'll return with our interview.
Dial *185*6#, follow the prompts and make instant school fees payments. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
You may have heard of physical distancing. This means keeping at least 2 arms length apart from other people at all times to reduce the spread of coronavirus. But why is it so important? Without physical distancing, each person infected with coronavirus will infect 2 to 3 others. Each of these people go on to infect 2 to 3 more, who each go on to infect another 2 or 3 people, and so on. Within a month, the infection will spread from 1 to 406 people. But if each person halves the number of people they come into close contact with, the number of infections drops dramatically. Each person would only infect 1 or sometimes 2 people, and each of those infected people would only infect 1 or occasionally 2 more. So the disease spreads much more slowly. In a month, the infection would only spread from 1 to 15 people. That's the power of physical distancing. Keep at least 2 arms length distance from as many people as you can to reduce infections and save lives. That way you'll protect yourself, the people you love, and your country.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Double data. Airtel introduces double data. The biggest deal ever on smartphones in Uganda. Buy a smartphone, 3G or 4G, and get 100% data bonus from Airtel. Airtel is giving you 100% bonus data on all weekly and monthly bundles for every new smartphone connected to Airtel for the first 3 months. Dial *175*9# to enjoy double data. Double data, double data. Oh, Airtel, the smartphone network, regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
Fruit Wild Fruit Juice. Our journey begins in orchards where some of the best fruits are grown. Fruit Wild Fruit Juice is 100% natural with no added sugar filled with a wholesome goodness of vitamins and minerals that nourish your body and delight your taste buds. Enjoy real fruit juice in orange, tomato, apple, beetroot with mango, lemon mint with cucumber, mango, berry and tropical variants. Grab your Fruit Wild 100% fruit juice today. Available in all leading supermarkets. Needs, come to Capital Shoppers. We have a variety of items like foods, garments, cosmetics, and all sorts of drinks. Enjoy your shopping experience at affordable prices in our fully stocked branches in the following areas: Ntinda Station Road, opposite Makere Business School along Port Bell Road, Justice Street opposite Nakasero Market, and Garden City on Yusuf Lule Road. To all our customers and suppliers, we thank you for your continuous support. Stay safe, wash your hands, sanitize, and wear your mask always.
Thank you so much once again for keeping it UBC TV and your lunchtime news. I'm still with you, Patricia Lukomampango, and like I said before I went for that break, that we will be engaging in a dialogue with Namuyango Jennifer. She is the State Minister for Local Government. Yesterday, the 20th, we witnessed the whole country, as our reporters traversed the whole country, getting updates on how the elections were happening on the LC5 level, that is the councillors, the mayoral elections. And we want to delve a little bit into that discussion and see, because one of the biggest challenges that was noticed was the fact that the turn-up was quite very, very, very low. And we want to know, because this is where the communities, the constituencies receive direct service delivery. Now, if people didn't participate in these elections, there should be, particular issues that need to be addressed in the local government. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Patricia. Like I've been introduced, Namuyangu Kacha Jennifer is my name, State Minister for Local Government, but I'm also the woman Member of Parliament elect for Chibuku District, and I'm still the current Member of Parliament.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Patricia.
Okay. So
I want to congratulate the Electoral Commission for organizing a free and fair election for this country. And in the same vein, I congratulate His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni upon winning the confidence of Ugandans to lead us as our president. Yesterday, we had the local council elections, and again, all the winners out there, I congratulate you.
And the losers?
And the losers, I ask you to support those who won, because our role is to provide services and quality services to the population. So we must work as a team. We must forget the past, join hands, and provide for our people in terms of service delivery. Because in any case, we are the ones who touch base with the local people. All the services that this country provides goes through the local councils. And as a ministry, we are happy that you've won the confidence of the people, and we shall encourage you to ensure that first of all, we implement President Museveni's manifesto. He has a contract with the people of Uganda, and as our role as local government, at whatever level, is to make sure that we support him so that that manifesto is implemented. But also, I want to encourage everybody again, as an elected leader, irrespective of the political ideology that you came through, please, ours is to provide a service. All our people need services. They need better roads. They need clean water. They need agricultural inputs. They need all sorts of services, good education for their children. They need drugs in the health facilities. So we must forget whatever political party you've come through, but to work for the people. That should be the password for all of us as leaders, especially the local governments, to ensure that we work for our people.
Thank you very much. That is quite some address there, Honorable. Now we want to look at yesterday's performance. If we compare the presidential and parliamentary elections, we can all be, witnessing or speaking evidence that there was quite some good turn-up when it comes to voters. The ballots, the polling stations were quite full. People were eager to vote their next president. It's quite very funny and very interesting that the local government, this is where the communities, the constituencies deliver service delivery to these specific people, but the turn-up was very low. What could be the problem? Do people lack confidence within the local government services? Are we having any gap within the local government services?
Well, it is not true that maybe people have no confidence in the local governments. They have confidence in the local governments. But I believe that one of the issues is that the day, Wednesday, does not favor many of the working class. People traveled up country to go and vote for the president and the MPs. And remember, they traveled back to their worker stations. So going back again to vote in the middle of the week, I believe it was one of the inconveniences that many could not afford. But number two, some of them, I believe it is voter fatigue. You go vote, come back again, go and vote. And I know it is even going to be worse for the LC3 and the sub-county councillors that is coming through early next month. The other one is some of our people believe that if my MP has gone through, that is the end. If my president has won, I don't want to bother again, which is a very, very wrong perception. Because like we mentioned, the local governments are the ones that deliver finally to the final person.
They're not even closest to the president, so even the members of parliament, they are closest to the local government.
Exactly. So I really want to appeal to all Ugandans that the local governments are the engine of service delivery. And we must cherish them. We must know that they must go through our mandate. So if you don't go to participate in voting for them, then you have betrayed yourself or your community.
So this low turn-up, didn't it affect the performance, the levels of performance? Because if it's just about 7 or 10 people that have showed up at a polling station, and you have about 6 or 5 candidates to choose from, then it's going to quite be very difficult to make the right choices.
Well, it does, but what I also know, that however few the numbers may be, they make their choice. And now the majority who have not turned up end up going by that choice.
Exactly. Because they didn't participate in choosing the right leader.
Exactly.
And that cannot be anyone's fault but the voter themselves.
Exactly.
True. Now, do you think for the period that you've been in service as the State Minister for Local Government, do you think, okay, yes, now, of course, the President has already arrived in, he has arrived in the Antonde, so basically I want to go there, but just you answer that question very quickly so that we can head to where the President, His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is. Well, that is the President over there in Lyantonde, and of course they were all eagerly waiting for that, grand arrival. He's the man in the game right now. He won the vote. He is our next president. He is still with us. So basically, what do you talk about this kind of jubilant experience?
I am happy to see the excitement in Lyantonde, and this is true of many of our local governments. Our people still love President Museveni as a freedom fighter, a liberator, but also a development-oriented president. As we speak now, outside in the different regions, factories have sprung up.
And this is due to the services of the local government?
Local governments have provided the land. They have also provided a conducive environment for the investors to go and invest in their
Do we have
business.
some tangible issues, some tangible activities that we could point to that attribute to this victory?
One of them is of course the peace. But remember, even the population of Uganda has increased because the president, his government have gone in to vaccinate, to immunize the children. So right now one can be proud to say that out of the children have produced maybe 5 they will all survive. Taking care of the women from antenatal to postnatal, childbearing, all that has been taken care of. The education system is superb now. In every parish we have a primary school. In every sub-county we are having a CD secondary school, which was not the case before. But also issues of roads. You can now traverse the country from one corner, from Kisoro to Karamoja. You can travel from Kisoro again to South Sudan, from Kisoro to Busia on tarmac. On tarmac. 1,000 kilometers on tarmac.
But we still have some roads that have not been tarmacked. We have the Busabala road just within the central.
Those will be done. Patricia, those will be done.
And these are some of the roads that could ease on the jammy, situation that we have.
I'm aware that we have a project to take care of Kampala and all the surrounding, the greater Kampala. All the roads.
I agree with you. Infrastructure has been key. Even in his manifesto, he has talked more about infrastructure, and we have seen that really come up, developing dams, we're trying to power up, make sure that electricity is enough within the country. These are some of the things that we really appreciate, but we also want to see the local person, the mwananchi, at the grassroots, really experiencing those benefits that come from the top right to the grassroots.
Patricia, I can assure you, even that has been taken care of. We have now a program called the Mioga.
A Mioga?
Yes.
I want to be part of that.
That one, the money is already in the district accounts.
Okay, KCC is handling that?
Every district, every constituency has received 560 million.
So does this mean that anyone who wants to access the Mioga must go through the division level? Let's say like Sabaga, they have to go to divisions,
and sub-county in case of districts, parishes. Actually, this money is going up to the parish level, and it is going to the different category of people, including my local government leaders from LC1 to LC5, the councillors. We have also encouraged them to have their circle, so that the money is given to them specifically to fight poverty.
And this was not just to a promotion in the season of campaigns. It is going to be ongoing.
That's why we have not given it out before campaigns. Because we want it to support the people to fight poverty, to transform themselves. But also we have other programs. And Operation Wealth Creation, they are giving out inputs, agricultural inputs to the farmers.
And Skill Uganda as well.
Skilling Uganda. But also our president has been so gracious that every sub-region now, they have built what we call zonal, artisanal, industrial parks in every sub-region. And some of these have already been constructed. What awaits is installation of machines. And our people will be skilled. They will start production, but also they will continue with the skilling so that the younger people, the women, are taken care of.
So now the question probably would be, we have evidence that service delivery reflects on the vote.
It does.
It does. So however much the majority say, yes, Museveni has been around for quite some time, when it comes to the vote, they remember what he has done.
Yes.
And they plunge in that vote, they play along with the ballot, and they choose the right president.
True.
That is an attitude that has to be bathed for some time. How effective do you think that now the local governments are being boosted? They're being helped. Now cash is being put into the local government, because we knew that, such projects, such grants are usually within the ministries. But now it has gone right to the grassroots. Do you think that in the 5 years tenure, we will be seeing a new song? We will be hearing a new voice from the voters saying, no, we now need this man around. It's not just for voting, it's not just democracy, but now we want him around because we have evidence, we have testimonies of ABCD.
I can assure you, Patricia, even after 10 years, everybody will remember President Museveni. And especially the women. You know, there used to be a lot of domestic violence in the homes. Now that is the song of the past. So the women have the freedom. The women have been liberated to participate in the local council elections. We have our 1/3 reserved for the women, right from LC1, which was not the case before. But also there is money for the women, specifically for women under UWEP. There is money for the youth.
But I hear some people claim that that money has a long procedure, and actually to get that money you go through a lot of paperwork and everything. So sometimes delay of services is...
Well, the procedure was cut because initially there were a lot of conditions. In terms of numbers, they wanted 15 and beyond. Then they also wanted you to come from a specific area, maybe a village. But now all that has been relaxed. But it is also important for the women to be well organized.
Yes.
It's not a question of bringing the money. Where are you as women? Now have the 10 million or so. So that paperwork is good. Because the CDOs now take time to train them, but also to recognize the groups that will move forward. So for me, as much as there are hurdles, these have been somehow relaxed on after realizing that this was one of the issues that were deterring many women from participating.
Now, according to the manifesto, you said now your focus is making sure that the implementation of President Museveni's manifesto is done and immediately. So what we want to understand, as the Ministry of Local Government, where do we start?
Well, as a Ministry of Local Government, we are going to start from where we ended.
Where did we end?
I talked about service delivery.
Okay.
In terms of roads, the president again gave each local government a full unit of road equipments. And right now they are receiving money to fuel these equipments. We are saying the money may not be enough, but this will be increased with time. Then the elderly, all of them are now receiving their money.
The elderly.
The only complaint is that the cutoff, the 8 years and above, is the bar is so high.
Okay.
So they feel that we can reduce it. But again, our president has promised that this will be reduced with time, so that at the end of the day we lower down to the 60 where we were. But these elderly people are happy with what they are receiving. The women fund, the president has again promised to increase this. The youth fund, because the youth are so many and many are enterprising, again we are going to increase on that.
The youth
money.
are so many. We also have teenagers coming up.
Exactly.
Very soon there will be youth.
Yes.
So,
the president, actually, when I was interpreting for him in Imbali, when he was in the Bukedi region, he personally said, I'm going to increase the money for the youth. Because he realized the budget was still small, and yet they are now the majority. So we are going to increase the money for the youth, and many of them, after skilling in these industrial parks, they are going to have startup funds.
when the president decrees such promises, who emphasizes the implementation? Because he can speak out like that, you know, and who follows up on that?
The members of parliament, the different ministries that are concerned, like ours, the Ministry of Gender, who are responsible for the youth, the women.
So when he speaks like that, you pick a point,
we take it
and then you begin to follow up. Okay,
yes.
That's interesting.
And we follow up through the budgeting. We ensure that during budgeting process, we say, Your Excellency, you committed yourself to this. So can we now put more money in the budget to take care of what you promised?
Okay. So you talked about the elderly, you talked about infrastructure, that is the roads, and then the women fund, the youth. Are there some other activities?
The other activities, of course, is the health. The health.
Okay.
Right now, every local government is building health center series.
Okay.
Yes. They are upgrading formerly the health center 2s to health center 3s. And after that, we are moving on to go to every sub-county that does not have.
I've had a chance to witness, to actually visibly see some of the health centers, and I can say that the president has really made an effort to repair these centers, to make sure the beds are available, the drugs are available. But now the problem is the services. Some of these doctors disappear the whole day, because we're just not going to focus on the construction and, you know, the accessibility of the medicines. We also need the doctors, the nurses to be available. What could be the problem in that area?
Well, apparently we have had an issue where there is understaffing.
Okay.
But also we have come up with a solution. One, to recruit more staff. But number two, you are aware that their pay has also been somehow improved.
Okay. Because
that was also an issue. And we are handling the issue of accommodation for the medical staff. Through the construction of those health facilities, they are building some houses for the staff. But also we have come up with what we call clocking in system. We took some kind of sampling in 20 districts that were performing badly in terms of health and education, and through the office of the Prime Minister, we provided the clock-in system to ensure that what time do you arrive, what time do you leave. Though some of them would still beat that system. You come in the morning, clock in, you leave, disappear, then you come back and clock in again. So that one, we are also looking at really engaging them, because it's a question of mindset. We may do all the policing, but when the individual does not really value that I did medicine for purposes of supporting the population, then we lose the point. So we are saying we must engage them to appreciate their work, to appreciate the patients, and serve them genuinely.
True.
Yes.
Okay, before we get to that next question, we want to cross over to Wakiso. And actually our time is up. Yeah, we are at 44 minutes past 1 o'clock. We thank you so much for being a part of us. Honorable Namuyango Jennifer, the State Minister for Local Government. Right now we want to head over to Wakiso, where one of our reporters, Rhoda Ngonzi, is ready to give us an update on how the elections transpired. Well, we head over to Wakiso. Rhoda?
Till this morning, results have been trickling in here at the district as far as Masulita. Just behind me, we can see some of the councillors or candidates for the councillorship that have been waiting for declaration from the Electoral Commission. Earlier this morning, the Electoral Commission returning officer, that is Musinguzi Tolbert, was declaring results of some of the directly elected councillors. Earlier on in the morning, there were supporters outside this main hall, that were disgruntled about the wait and insinuated, or those that we had a chance to talk to insinuated that there must have been a move to cover up mischief. However, police was called in to calm that, and it was explained that the move to block them out or leave them out of, not grant them access to the main hall, was because of adherence to the SOPs. Speaking of the LC5 chairperson election, Matia Bwanika Luanga is in the early lead with 195,119 votes, followed by NRM's Moses Mayanja with 54,200 and 12 votes. And in third place, DPs in Rubaga Simon with 4,000. That's with 4,000 votes so far. But we are awaiting the Electoral Commission or the returning officer to declare those results in just a bit. Over here, I have NRM's Moses Mayanja. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's been quite the wait. You were here last night.
Yes.
When the tallying process began and left off. Generally, how have you found the process?
Thank you very much. I greet your viewers. My name is Moses Mayanja, the candidate for Wakiso District LC5. I'm here to witness the tally. Actually, we are in the tally center. Everything is going on well. I want to thank my supporters, the voters who trusted all those votes for me. And I want to assure you we are still here waiting for everything that will come out. But I want to make sure that I work with everyone.
You are based on the results right now, you are so far in the second position, but of course we are waiting for more to come from the Electoral Commission. Has the process been fair for you?
Yes, you know, I'm here representing NRM. NRM has to be in the tally center because I contested on that card. I have to put the flag high. We have a lot of programs. I'm comfortable with everything going on here.
Thank you very much, Moses Mayanja. That's Moses Mayanja of the NRM. He has so far 54,212 votes, but of course the Electoral Commission has not yet declared. We await for that. Bwanika Luanga, the incumbent, is in an early lead, and his team has been here since last night as well. We will get a chance to talk to him very briefly. But yes, the main issue this morning is that the wait has been long for the results here at the tally center. But it's important to note that Wakiso district has one of the districts with the highest number of registered voters, and the polling stations are over 1,000. Most of them are remote. Behind me we can see the team of Electoral Commission busy at it, yes, to get us those results. With me right now is the incumbent or LC5 chairperson, Wakiso District, Matia Wanika. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam. How are you?
I'm fine. We've been seeing you and your team since the tallying began. You got here early with your team. You had your DR forms, and you've been at it right next to the Electoral Commission projections, trying to have your own tallying as well. How has that gone for you?
First of all, objectively, this is my personal observation that one, in the first place, EC lacks facilities like transport and everything. They have, for instance, Wakiso big as it is, they have only one pickup. In fact, we assisted them by the district to give them more vehicles, meaning that, as you've seen, some of the vote materials have come this morning, so you can imagine, and these were from just Entebbe. And then again, number two, my observation, personal observation, it's not scientific, but I'm saying it has been my personal observation that it seems currently the EC has got its app, its IT, which is just introduced, and it's like the staff or the operators are not used to the system, because it seems there is a direct link between the national EC and all branches, and it seems there is that confusion between balancing what was staged by the national elections and what is currently going on. I've realized that, of course I'm not an expert of the IT, but I've been realizing it since the announcements of the first election, the national elections, and now what is going on now. Basically, you see the people are hardworking. The commissioners and the staff are trying their level best to put things together. So objectively, I would say they have no ill intentions, but it's like they are caught up between a rock and a hard place, and it is a systematic fail that sooner or later they will rectify it, I think. Yeah, that's what I can say about the delay of releasing of results. It's good for us. We have everything in place, and the little we have seen according to their what they are displaying, it's like it is tallying with what we have. So I don't hope for anything bad. Their provisional results as of now indicate that I have 190,000 votes, more than that, and the runners up is at 50,000, which is a difference of 140. Yeah, so that is more or less 80-something%. So it would be, I mean, it is, how can I call it? It would be naive for me to disprove the people who are trying their best to come up with that. As I've earlier mentioned, whatever they've been screening is tallying with what we have. We have all the records, as you've seen, constituency by constituency, polling station by polling station, DR declaration forms by declaration form. Whenever the boss, the EC, the returning officer, the registrar was announcing, we could follow, and we realized whatever he was saying was tallying with what we have. We have no any dispute as of now. So I hope for the best.
So as of now, you can say the process has been fair?
Here, I'm talking about
tallying.
Yeah, here at the tallying center. I've not seen any confusion, unless it will come in a later time. But as of now, I have no complaint.
Thank you very much, Nsubuga. Patricia, the process continues, and we will keep you updated in just a bit. The returning officer, Musinguzi Tolbert, will be announcing, declaring winners both for the councillorship and the LC5 chairperson. But for now, we continue to wait. Back to you, Patricia.